style. You ain't know this game. Been in this thing for a while. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Been in this thing for a while. Been in this thing for a while. Been in this thing for a while. You don't even know my pain. You can't even match my style. You don't even know this game. Been in this thing for a while. Yeah, 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 yeah. Been in this thing for a while. Been in this thing for a while. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We usually talking around this time. That was a quiet lead in right there.
Man, there's a lot of stuff that make you get quiet in the mainstream right now.
Man, listen, you want to talk about the breaking news?
I mean,
you
brother,
lay your theory on people. You just texted about it. You want to lay your theory on people? You want
to? I definitely can.
You want to get into it?
Can I get into it? Every time I hear that, I just think James Brown, Mr. James Brown, man.
You want to get into it? All right, so welcome,
yeah.
bookworms. Welcome to the bookstore. We appreciate y'all dropping by. This is another week in the book conversations between Mo and myself. Mo, what's up?
What's good, y'all? Y'all heard him. It's another week in the books, man. We kicking game. Come read another chapter with us, man.
Yeah, read another chapter. It's gonna be a good chapter right here, man.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, y'all know how we like to do. Let me check in first. How are you, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing good. I made some adjustments to my schedule so that my wife can do even less. So it's a sacrifice because when I leave now, the traffic is crazy. Like, I mean, it takes me like an hour. I had to check, but I had to check myself. And I advise this to all men. It's like when you making a sacrifice, on behalf of your significant other or sacrifice for the greater good, you find yourself getting frustrated and wanting to complain. Remember why you're doing it and understand that it means something. It counts. And so for me, while I'm doing that waiting and stuff like that, I'm just like, it's just slow bumper to bumper. It's worth it to know that my wife doesn't have to walk all the way up to the stop and carrying our child, walk all the way back, and then afternoon as well. So it's a recent sacrifice, but nonetheless, it's something I'm proud to be able to do, because any moment that I can alleviate, any kind of work for her, I'm glad to be able to do that. So other than that, man, I've been good, man. I'm just upset at myself. I'm trying to find a space to record roll, but you already know the blues. I ain't gonna even play that tune here. But what about you, man? Outside of business, what's going on in the Spike Lee world, man?
We were just talking about time just flying by, man. My birthday coming up in a week. I was like, God, it was just
bro. I feel like you just told me this last year, like on
man,
some
what?
That's crazy. How you feeling about that, man?
It's a mixed bag at this age, man.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Yeah, because just in the sense of accomplishments and wanting to have things done by this age, and also what we just talked about, how like time fucking flies, man. Like that is crazy. So if time fly like this now, imagine as we get older, man. That's like Jesus Christ. So
yeah,
just that. But I'm excited about it, man. I'm going to see the Hove exhibit in New York, the Brooklyn Library. Me and Mom Dukes and some family. So I'm gonna get to go up there and chill with the family in New York over the holiday weekend. So that should be cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been in New York when it's been this cold. I hope it ain't just unbearable.
Ooh,
I don't do cold weather well, but that's it, man. Other than that, I'm feeling good. We got some nice stuff in the works, nice business conversations. I know you said they would accept business, but I'm excited about some of the things that are about to happen. So I look forward to it.
Okay. Me too.
All in all, it's good, man. Absolutely. So what we were talking about earlier when we led you in before we did our introductions and things of that nature, man, some news just broke before we came on about Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever you call him nowadays, Dr. Brother Love.
Pause Daddy.
Pause Daddy. He might want to drop that Brother Love too. That's he might want to drop that too. Too much love going on.
That's an original. I came up with that Pause Daddy, by the way. But anyway.
Pause Daddy that's kind of insane too. I'll let you get it off though. That Pause Daddy is crazy.
Puff Daddy is crazy.
Oh, Pause Daddy.
right, let me
It's
stop
funny.
playing
I got
around.
that.
All
All
right,
right.
go ahead.
Well, if you haven't heard by now when this comes out, uh, a lawsuit just dropped, and it's public information when it's a lawsuit under some act that was passed in New York about 4 years ago. Cassie, former girlfriend of Sean Combs, had some shocking allegations, man. She had some really shocking allegations as what was going on in their relationship, what he was making her do as far as hire male escorts and have sex with them in front of Puff. A lot of physical altercations, allegedly. Allegedly blew up Kid Cudi car when he was dating her after Puff, I believe. But a lot of stuff that she said, man, and it was in those documents. I won't go through all of them, but you are able to read them in any major publication right now. I was looking at the New York Times and Apple News. Mo, we were talking about this in the group chat, me, you, and Rich, man. I keep looking at my barber's out of town, man. I just look like I did 7 days on Rikers Island, dude. I need to get this situated ASAP.
Hey, don't worry.
Now put
We
this
got like
video
three.
out.
We got 3 viewers.
Nobody
Don't
gonna
worry.
see it anyway.
Hey, don't worry about it. We got 3 viewers, 3 strong.
I hope my barber see it when he go out of town on the dime, leave me looking like this, man. But
Bro, that be happening to me I swear. Anyway, but yeah.
Bro, I called him out. He's like, "Bro, when you coming back?" Oh man, I don't know. What?
Wait. You ain't gonna get a cut before you go out of town? Oh, that's next week. Never
absolutely.
mind. Okay, that's next week. I'm
sure. Yeah, but that was a small tangent. Mo, you had a theory on why celebrities are always in these compromising situations as far as sexual. You want to lay it on the people what you were thinking?
Yeah, this is my theory. And I want y'all to understand that, like, I don't want us to come off insensitive or come off trying to be extra potty podcasters. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this the recent news. Let's get the hot. You know what I mean? That's not even. Yeah, those that have been here, y'all already know that's not even what we're here for. But my take on it is, I believe that celebrities have access to so many things. They have access to a lot of funds, a lot of drugs, a lot of drinks, a lot of activities. What I believe these celebrities, what ends up happening is they've had access to so much regular sex or heterosexual sex or homosexual sex, for those that swing that way, that they now become bored with it, just like they do with drugs, just like they do with music, whatever. They become bored because they've had it. And most of us that are everyday people can't imagine this, because we can't imagine being able to be that active, to have it in such access, every type of woman, every type of man, whatever, you know what I'm saying, being so active that I am bored with it. We can't imagine that in our lifetime, being that involved that often. However, these celebrities, they're living different lives. And so I think that my theory is that they've had access to it, and all of them have kind of slept around a lot until, then they, some people in the industry, some people out of the industry, that they now become bored with the traditional form of sex. And I mean, we could throw the freaky stuff in there with it. So now they're striving to look for something different that triggers a different part of the urge of pleasing that spot, which was once sex, like chasing that first high. So I think that's where you find some of these celebrities. You start finding out they're in these little, like trafficking, where they get involved with women, or trafficking, or with kids, or even with the same sex, where it starts to be that type of behavior. I think that's what happens, man. I honestly do. I think that they're bored, and that's what and I know most people say, bro, a typical person, if you're bored, you're not gonna just switch up, but I don't think it's the same kind of bored, and that's as far as I'm gonna go with it.
I was gonna stop you if you try to go any further.
I ain't gonna go deep. I ain't the conspiracy theorist, but yeah,
I had to get in my rich bag. Like, wait a minute, boy. No, now that ain't far fetched, man. I mean, you're on to something there. Also, in addition to, what we should understand is people freaks too. Like, even if they not bored with the traditional shit, what I've learned from social media and Twitter, like, it's some wild shit out there. Like, it's some wild stuff that people like doing on some shit you'll see up your timeline just from a regular motherfucker on OnlyFans. This ain't Puff Daddy. This ain't a motherfucker that had sex or has access to sex anytime. It's just some people have different cravings. So I'm not excusing anything Puff got going on. I don't care to be in anyone else's bedroom.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, from a larger standpoint in a conversation that we would have here that isn't chatty patty, this is a lawsuit, right?
Yeah.
This is not something where they're saying that they want him to go to jail. At least the people that are filing the lawsuit. This is a civil matter, and they're saying that he offered her 6 figures to keep this story and to settle out of court. She didn't take it. So this was more about ruining his name versus them wanting charges pressed against him. What do you think about that part?
What do you mean ruining his name versus pressing charges?
Well, so he's not like he hasn't been charged by the police. This isn't by the police. This is a lawsuit from an individual, right? So that's different.
Okay.
Meaning if he goes to court, he's going to have to pay, not go to jail, right? Unless some come of this that is a charge that he can go to jail for.
Okay.
I don't know that much yet.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is Puff is the head of $1 million corporation. Sean Combs, Bad Boy, like Sean Combs Inc. Like there's a lot of stuff that's tied his name. He's trying to buy a football team not too long ago. So what I mean by ruining his name is if he's offering, I'm assuming anywhere from hundreds of thousands of dollars to the person who filed his lawsuit and say, hey, we can sell out of court and I'm going to give you this money. This just never comes out. It never sees the light of day. And to that, Cassie and her lawyer like, nah, we don't want your money. Well, we don't want it hush money. We want everybody to know what's going on. We want to put you out here in front of everybody and let them know what you are behind closed doors.
Yeah.
To that you say what?
I think it's real, bro. I think we're in a time period. You know, the Me Too movement was really catching a heavy wave some years ago, and it's still going. And the time's up. Wait, you know, all of all of those things that have been catching steam have been necessary. I think it's just unfortunate to me because here's where I go with it. I'm not surprised by people in the industry. Like I said, it's a lot of weirdo behavior in the industry, but I mean, hey, that's what they do. But what not hurt me, I don't want to act like I'm that invested, but what bothered me for her was the fact that I don't know if she's engaged or she has a new relationship.
She got 2 kids with another man. She married.
Okay. But what bothered me is there's a point in time where when you see that, you know, it says that unfortunately she was raped. That's in the article. But it bothers me to think that a man to physically assault you, sexually assault you, tries to pay it off, and then like when you move on and you kept it quiet for years, you tried to just because it comes off like she was so embarrassed to even say it out loud for years. And I mean, everybody got stuff like that you were embarrassed to say it out loud because you know it bothered you and rubbed you the wrong way that this actually happened. So it bothered me for her because it's like you imagine her value as a woman being diminished to herself. I can only imagine, like, you're holding up confident, you're looking beautiful still, people still complimenting you, you're doing your acting thing, Cassie's this, Cassie's that. But the internal feeling of knowing that, like, I did this with these men in front of my man that was supposed to protect me. He was into this and I was okay with it because I was young, impressionable. And I'm thinking this is just how I go. I'm in that light like that. Until now, one day I realized, okay, this wasn't really the play. Now I realize some things that I feel internally this is not cool. This is not what I really want to be. That's not even what I'm about. So it hurt me because I'm glad that she is married and hopefully she's in love because I didn't want her value as a woman in her own thinking to feel diminished because she was participating in these things at the time thinking it was, you know, that was the play until now, you know, we see what it is and just the sexual abuse part of it is just, man. But yeah. What
nasty work, man. It's nasty work right there. What
yeah.
were you about to ask me?
No, I was gonna say, like, what do you think about this? Like, what do you take from this as far as us as men, and then even just their scenario? I mean, like I said, we jumped out of the bedroom at this point. We're looking at the whole relationship aspect of black men and
It's a rough situation for her to be in. Like you said, I'm sure that was embarrassing to get out. And I'm sure it was pulling at her, which is why it took so long for it to come out. Or maybe Puff was doing something to keep it quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm surprised that it did come out, to be honest with you. And you've been looking at Puff Strange for years, so nothing up in the article really surprised me.
Yeah.
All of that stuff, when as I read, I'm like, yeah, I could see him doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am surprised about, again, is this makes it to the light of day before somebody as powerful as Puff can put the brakes on it. Maybe that was why it took so long for us to hear about it. I'm more surprised by the fact that a man who is out here, that, what is it, Ciroc and Bad Boy and all of these brands that he has, I'm surprised that he couldn't come up with a number to keep this quiet. That's what I'm most surprised about. But I commend her. I mean, like, it ain't a number.
Yeah.
You put me in a position, I'm finally finding my truth.
Mm-hmm.
I want to empower people that are going through the same thing. It ain't no number. You finna get all of this work, pause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the public forum, in front of everybody.
Yeah.
I wish people would just, the shit that you into, find other people that into it, y'all do that shit together. But forcing a motherfucker to be into it because you Puff Daddy, because you got money, and holding it over their head, that's some sick shit for me. That's the sickness or the sicker part about it to me.
Yeah. It's
like, I don't know Cassie personally, like you said, she nice appearance, carries herself well.
Mm-hmm.
You can read this and be shocked, like, I can't believe Cassie did that.
Mm-hmm.
Or was forced to do that. Excuse me. I want to be very careful in how I'm speaking to this.
Yeah.
Can't believe she was forced to do that. But again, you look at Puff and you're like, I could see that.
Yeah, you
can. So it's just him dragging her into that world. And it's unfortunate, as you mentioned in your thought, in your hypothesis about why this happens. Mm-hmm. It's just unfortunate in this world that there are people who you would think are genuine or think are good, but they feel like do these things to fit in. They got to do these things to get their next gig. They got to do these things to make sure that their rent is paid. They got to do these things because it's dependent on someone that's in that position of power over them to keep them afloat. So that's the unfortunate part about it. Puff has always been that type of person. We've seen it since he made people walk to the cheesecake for a record deal. Mm-hmm. Like, he's going to use his power to his leverage. So,
yeah, and
that's what I take away from it.
Yeah, and that's she's okay. Yeah, I hope she's okay, and we commend her as men. You know, unfortunately, her being taken advantage of by a man. You know, we commend her for coming forward with this. Like I said, the movement is getting strong. I think that women should be encouraged in this era and it's time to speak up when men have been foul, because that it just ain't right. And I think men should speak up too. You know, but that's another conversation. Like that, just trauma and you know. That's another conversation. Like, that's definitely not this one, but nonetheless, the act. I wanted to mention the act. Sorry, just in case that we have New York listeners. The act that it's the Adult Survivors Act. It's a New York law that allows people who say they were victims of sexual abuse to file civil suit after the statute of limitation has expired. Which I was really glad that that's a thing, because people scared to come out, bro. We know there's been some really shaky things that have happened in the industry of people was here one day and wasn't here, and it's like kind of weird. And so I'm glad that they have something like that. And I'm, like you said, I'm surprised it came forward. So shouts out to her for speaking her truth and, you know, pushing forward. Cassie, if you ever hear this, you don't have to be strong, but it was a strong move that you did right there.
Yeah, man, it's wild. It's a wild story. My mom texted me on it. She's like, "You believe this?" I'm like, "Absolutely, I believe." I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know. So
right.
Yeah. So I hope they get to the bottom of this, man. Mm-hmm. Find out what happens. Thoughts and prayers to Cassie. Lightening the mood a little bit here, Mo. Mm-hmm. Moving on to, you know, our normal stuff in the zeitgeist, things we talk about during the week, and our theme of the show, which is dealing with being stubborn and prideful. This should be interesting. Mm-hmm. But before that, Mo, I know you're a Power fan, right?
I wouldn't say I'm a Power fan. I watch Power.
Stop it, Mo.
Nah, I wouldn't say.
But you're not a fan. What do you mean? What does
watch
that
it.
even mean? I watch
Well,
it, but I'm not a fan.
okay, here's fandom for Mo looks like Sopranos. Like
Right.
I like how I was years ago with Drake when I was a big Drake like fan stan.
See, there's a difference between fan, stan, and I just watch it. You can be a fan without being a stan. Like I'm fans of stuff without standing out. Like Soprano is, for me, is the upper echelon. It's like, I mean, I'm all the way in.
Well, I'm a stan there.
Sopranos.
Yeah, I'm probably a stan.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, like you can be a fan of Power, right?
See, but it's like
you watch all the shows. Do you watch all the shows?
Except for 2. I don't watch 2.
Which ones you don't watch? You don't watch the one with Tariq?
Nah.
That's the one I just started watching. That's the
best
one.
I ain't never going. That ain't the best one, but I ain't never
absolutely the best one.
No, it's not. It ain't better than Kanan. You always don't do that.
I don't even count Kanan in they word like.
Nah, no, you have to count.
That's okay. Well, Kanan is the best.
That's the big joker.
I thought you watched Power Book 2. Yeah, it definitely is. I thought you watched Power Book 2. Why don't you like that one?
Me and my sister, we like. I just can't. I know people be like, bro, it's a fictional show, but like, I never liked the fact that like he killed his dad, and so I can't get behind that.
Shit though,
huh?
His dad was a piece of dirt.
Yeah, so he ain't stopped. He still like looked out for him and how everything got set up for him to do his play or whatever on his own. I just never.
He was literally a murdering drug dealer. That's what his dad was.
I mean, that's fine, but that's your dad, though.
A better place. He made the world a better place killing his dad. Would you agree?
No.
How not?
Not in that world.
A murderous thug, drug dealer.
That was turning straight. That was turning straight. Turning corporate.
Manipulating the system.
I mean, that's politics.
I say that because I fuck with Tariq. I look. That's the one that I actually just started. I fuck with him, man. Like I feel like if you watch Power Book 2, he's presented in a totally different light. But what I do appreciate about it most, and why I thought that you did watch it, is some of the characters and some of the dialogue that they have. He's taking a class. What is this black guy who is like a loose representation of the guy that I asked you about last week, Ta-Nehisi Coates? Like he's supposed to be an author, and he wrote this life-changing book that got a Pulitzer Prize to do it in this teaching Tariq or whatnot. But they have some very interesting dialect about black men and approaches and how they view the world, and some interesting back and forths because they're in a debate class. So the writers did a good job of throwing stuff in there, to strike dialogue and things of that nature. So I think you would appreciate some of the characters in this one, even if you don't fuck with Tariq. I would suggest you watch it. I think you really like it.
Everybody been trying to get me into it, but the only way I'll watch is if the end Ghost is still alive. If he's alive, I'll run the whole thing up, and I'll be, hey man, that Power too, bro. But if Ghost ain't,
so upset. Why are you such a big fan of Ghost?
Because bro, he's one of our best anti-heroes. You could say whatever you want to say about the show being this or doing that, but that Ghost was that guy. Believable or not, Ghost was that guy. He was doing this thing. I mean, they tailed off towards the latter end. But he's one of our best black anti-heroes, like, period. So it's like I've always
the only black anti-hero.
No, he's not the only black anti-hero. We got Training Day.
Franklin Saint.
I guess he was a villain. Franklin Saint. I was gonna say
you guess that
Alonzo
was a villain?
No, I was saying Alonzo from Training Day, but I'm like, he's not really anti-hero. He's a villain.
Well,
it's always hard. I never know the lenses. It's like at moments he seems like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you could say.
We gotta. I don't know what capacity. We gotta have a conversation about Training Day.
They didn't ever have. Yeah, we do. That would be fun.
Yeah.
They didn't really have no redeeming characteristics for Alonzo, so he was a villain.
Yeah, I know, but he was like he got into some bad stuff on. So he had a gambling problem like that, but he really was.
I don't give a fuck.
Nah, he killed. I mean,
brains out.
He killed his whole boy. But
that's what I'm saying. He was a villain. They didn't really. It's funny that we as black people struggle with that. We're like, nah, I fucked with him though.
Bro, that's what I'm like.
If we keep it at 1,000,
like
Alonzo
we keep it in a glass of water right now. Like, bro, I don't know.
He was a villain.
He was, but
he wasn't no redeeming qualities about nigga.
I know everything he did was horrible.
The number one line that he was a villain. You've been planning this all day, nigga. I've been planning this shit all week. Nigga. You dumb ass. I've been gaming your dumb ass for you even
Bro,
got in my
that
presence,
is
nigga.
crazy. That's my favorite movie of all time, man.
We're gonna have to talk about that one week on something.
Yeah. But I will say, are you if you get through this, are you willing to watch book 3?
With Tommy? The same way you feel about book 2 is how I feel. Okay. There's absolutely no reason on earth I would watch any show with that white dude.
All right.
He is a terrible actor. Like he was terrible on Ozark. He was terrible in Power. I don't
think he's terrible in Power. I think he plays like how we believe that guy would be. That's why.
But he tried to take that show on the road though, and that don't work. Like he was the same dude in Ozark, and he's been the same dude in every other role since Power.
Well, he wasn't the same dude.
Like
in
you
Ozark.
acting like Tommy. It was Tommy in Ozark.
He wasn't Tommy in Ozark. He was
Tommy, but from Missouri, not from New York. It was the Missouri version.
Missouri, Tommy. Yeah, well, here's what I will say. Since you say you would advise, I will say that they give him a lot more room to work with. He's definitely like a firecracker, no pun intended. I don't
want to see that.
But they give him a little bit more structure on his own show, I feel like. But I get it either way. It's not a must watch.
I think you appreciate book 2's dialogue, some of the situations, the ways that they indirectly discuss Tariq as far as his situation. I think you'd appreciate it. But nonetheless, man, we ain't here to talk about TV. That was just to lighten the mood from Paul's daddy, Puff Daddy.
See, it's rolling.
Yes, it's rolling off. Before we get to stubborn and prideful mode, we want to talk about the holidays a little bit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Next week is Thanksgiving, so we will be recording a day earlier. Who knows? Depending on Mo's schedule, maybe you'll get the episode on Thanksgiving Day. Hey. But what we want to do, this is very important to everybody listening. We want you to hear this.
Yes.
We really want this to work. All right. So everybody listening.
I'm chopping the music right here.
Chopping the music. Okay. Everybody listen. This is a PSA from Another Week in the Books. So we're doing a Thanksgiving episode next week. All right. And what that's going to consist of, we get a lot of feedback, a lot of comments. You can't imagine what this show did for me, how it's made me think differently. I appreciate you. I appreciate Mo. We want to combine that. We want to have conversations with people that listen. We want y'all to drop in like you would if you was stopping by your homie house or the fam's house for Thanksgiving dinner. So we're going to record early next week, and I'll let the people know what day. If you could have this over to us by Tuesday. If you go to Another Week in the Books IG and leave a voice note, we can add that to the show. And we're going to select some people who've been on the show, that listen to the show, to come hop in the Zoom with us. I'm going to send them the link. They're going to drop in for about 5 minutes, tell us what they're thankful for about Another Week in the Books, or just in general, as Black men and women out here in this world. We'll have some conversation for us. And we're going to give everybody the opportunity and the platform to come and express themselves about what Another Week in the Books means to them or what they're thankful for it about. So, again, if you follow on IG and you're listening to this, go ahead and leave a voice note in IG messages. Mm-hmm. All you do is hit the microphone, leave it there. Mo will get it. We'll get it over to the team, make sure it's added into the show. Mm-hmm. So start leaving those today as you're listening to this. Stop listening to the episode actually right now and go ahead and leave a little 30-second clip. Go ahead and just press pause and go ahead and do that. Other people, though, that we've mentioned on this show, I'll call out some names. I'm going to send Dro an invite. He's gonna come for a full episode, but I'm going to send him an invite. One of the biggest proponents of this show, man. I love and appreciate what that brother does outside of here as far as telling people about the show. That's my brother. I love him. Derb, if we can get Darius back on here again from Wild Black, Animal Brown. I'm going to try to reach out to J Hove, Wash, Chat, Jeff, Big Jeff, Ray P,
Mama,
Rich. We want to try to get Rich, Mama. We're going to get Rich on here to drop in the whole episode with us and just kind of steer this thing and ask us questions, since he's been going back listening to the back catalog, so he'll be able to steer the conversation and give us some of his favorite moments, and we can talk about them as we do in the text threads, but give it to the people. We want to make it just like a family thing. We want everybody to come to the book.
Dan, can't forget about you, Dan.
Dan told me, he said he ain't representing all white people either. We need to take that
I
off.
told you, he hit me. I told you, I was like, he's like,
He
bro,
told
thank
me he
you.
hit
I was
you
like,
up
I
like,
told you, I
no.
said he's not the white representative, bro.
he
Oh man,
definitely told me that too. But all of the people, man, that have contributed to this show to make this what it is, to give Maurice and myself the confidence to come on here each week and be vulnerable and open with you. What does that is, man, the feedback that we get. I would have never thought that us sitting here talking about some of the stuff that we go through and some of the comments that we get from it, it's moving.
yeah,
Life changing shit. I ain't even gonna be modest. It's life changing shit.
it really
Makes
is.
you look at it makes you look at yourself in a totally different way.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, me and Mo never met, man. We just on here. We linked up because of content that we liked, and we made this into what it is. And it's hard to do this stuff some weeks, man.
Yeah.
But we want to show up every week for the people to listen to this, the people to appreciate and support this, the big things and the works to make this even bigger than it is now. So we're going to put some expanding on the bookstore, make some room for people to start coming in. But we really want the day ones, the people that were here from the beginning. We want y'all to be a part of the show next week.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you can do to be a part of the show, if I send you that Zoom link, if you leave that message on the Another Week in the Books Instagram, please, I encourage you to do it. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
We want everybody to hear how it's affected everyone else out here with this community that we've built.
Yeah.
What say you, Mo?
Just to add to that, y'all can leave a voice note or well, we ain't gonna put the number there, but y'all know the number, but I'm not gonna put it there because I may not necessarily
do it on IG.
Do it on IG. That's the go-to for us.
Do it on IG. You'll be waiting on that Zoom link from me. If you want a Zoom link from me, hit me up this week. If you're listening to this and I didn't mention you, I will send it to you. You can hop in for 5 minutes with us. Mm-hmm. But the other people that are listening, that do follow this show, I mention your name. Be expecting that Zoom link from me. Once you just hop in for a couple minutes, chop some gas with us. What were you saying?
For those, there's a set group that has never spoke, never left a review, never said anything, but you are benefiting from these conversations. I'm talking to you. You're listening to my voice right now.
Pay taxes?
No.
Mother collecting tax. Y'all niggas ain't putting in.
Collecting
y'all
taxes.
Niggas ain't putting in, man. Y'all listening and ain't giving us nothing.
Yeah, y'all ain't paying, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the Night's Watch. But seriously, I want a moment of transparency. Like, when we did the episode, I think it was Dan was on here, and we had, y'all know, for those that are listeners, like we talked about the father-in-law situation. I, in real time, was like, I mean, I can't tell you how close I was to crying doing the episode. I still remember the feeling. Like, it took me so long to go back and listen to the episode. I say all that to say, don't be embarrassed to send a voice note. Don't be ashamed to send a voice note. Don't matter how your voice sounds. Don't matter, like, I don't want to see what I sound like on the air. I don't want it to be played. Don't worry about none of that. Like, it takes a lot for us to do this every week. It don't take much for you to send a small appreciation. This is free 99 right now. And we need this, you know what I'm saying? Because we want to keep giving y'all this, sowing into y'all lives with these conversations. So please, as Spike said, please hit us up by Tuesday. Hit us up right after this and leave it there. Don't worry about it. We got you.
And that's the premise of this show too, right?
Yeah. Having
conversations that you usually wouldn't have. So, like, if you're reserved, you don't usually do this, those are the people we asking.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to rate, subscribe, like, go do all that good stuff too.
Yeah, that too.
Rate, subscribe, like, do all of that, man. We need to get all of that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what this show is about, man. Doing stuff that you wouldn't usually do, going that extra mile, being that person in your head and showing that to other people, making them better people. That's what we strive to do, and we appreciate the feedback that we get. We want to share that with the world, man. Mm-hmm. We want to share that with the people listening. We want to share that with y'all. We want y'all to know how y'all are affected, just like someone else out there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start a whole community from this. It's going to be dope. It's going to be big. It's already started, actually. So we're going to grow a whole community from this. So
yeah,
that's that, man. Make sure y'all do that.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all do it. Give you time to stop and do it now. Speaking of the holidays, Mo, who cooks Thanksgiving dinner with you? You're a vegan. Like, how'd that
go? I'm close. I'm the cousin of vegan, vegetarian.
You're a terrible person to be around in the holidays, I would assume.
No, I'm real smooth. Like, I'm so smooth with it, people forget.
Smooth with it.
Like you know how, like,
what does your Thanksgiving plate look like?
Well, it came so fast. Like it's Thanksgiving. Hey, take it easy.
Yo,
the date, the Thanksgiving date came so quickly. That is, oh man, the Paul's daddy's crazy. Oh, but no, you know, like somebody used to smoke and they don't smoke no more, but you might be, you know, for those that still smoke, you high and you forget that person don't smoke, but they flowing with you. You know that feeling? Yeah, like you got a buddy, like, dang, I forgot you ain't hit this, did you? Yeah, so that's how I'm with the vegetarian thing. Was like I'm with people like, oh man, that look good, man. That smell good. I'm like right up on it, but I don't obviously I don't eat that. So
you might take a little nibble though, right?
Nah, no nibbles.
Get you a little piece of turkey. Piece of turkey.
Nah, no turkey.
Nah,
no
little piece of ham.
Nah, no nibbles, bro. Like this is
crazy.
It's a lifestyle.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, wait. Is your Thanksgiving like a family thing? Is it something that you do at the crib with your wife and your daughter? Is it something where you do around family? How does it usually go?
Bro, we've been in a scramble for years, bro. Like a lot of us our age, where it's like, oh, it's your time to step up. You know it. You got the cooking abilities. You might even have the space to serve it. We're at that point as far as the cooking ability, not necessarily the space to serve it. And me and my wife are kind of the movers and shakers of the family. Like we kind of make it happen. Like, here's what we're doing. Hey, you want to, you get this, blah, blah. We move the needle because people kind of be like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess we'll see. Like, no, we get it popping. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately,
so the people come to y'all crib.
Yeah, well, we still hadn't got there yet. We've been doing doing Sunday dinners periodically. But when we moved here, we hadn't really done a Thanksgiving. I mean, me and her cooked a little in-house one. So even this year, probably.
I guess what I'm asking is what's the menu? What's the menu?
Oh, what's the menu?
Like, yeah, do you cook turkey anyway, even though you don't eat it and your family does? Like, how does it affect everybody else? You being vegan?
Well, it's just us three right now,
right?
So. Nah, I don't cook turkey. No. We'll do.
What do they eat? What kind of meat?
I probably do like some baked chicken.
Okay.
Probably do like a baked chicken, peppers, onions, you're still gonna do the dressing. So the baked chicken replace the turkey, kind of like you do the, then you're gonna go around, you're gonna hit the mac, you're gonna hit the greens, you're gonna hit the, the usual suspects. But it's hard because I cook like this on a regular, so it's not really.
Are you whipping up greens and shit on a Tuesday?
Bro, I just packed them joints to work today. Like them, yeah, bro. Them green. Well, it was from Sunday, but yeah, bro. Mac and cheese, home mashed potatoes from scratch, all that. Yeah.
Mashed potatoes from scratch is crazy.
Like you do the add water?
No, I'm just saying you said from scratch. Like there's a difficult process to cut the potato, boil it, and mush.
Nah, that's still work, bro. Nah, that's work. That's work. You don't just get mashed
potatoes.
You
one of them niggas if you putting too much sauce on the cooking.
Nah, bro.
Like even with the baked chicken, you try to throw in the onions and peppers. Nigga, that's basic. Yeah, of course, nigga. I know that's
Excuse me for being a black man.
I can cook too, Mo. Okay. I know how to cook too, Mo.
All right, well, give it to us. What's your menu you did, Mr. Cook?
Oh man, I get down. I used to fry turkeys for Thanksgiving. I ain't been in like
you my kind of guy.
I ain't been around the fam. I ain't been around the fam in a whole yet. Like as I've been, I have. I ain't done that yet since I've been set up down here in Georgia. It's been a while.
Okay.
But yeah, every Thanksgiving, man, I used to fry the turkeys. Like we used to be over at the house. I fried the turkey in the backyard. Family come through with the sides and stuff. Fry turkeys for other people.
Man, that's tight.
Absolutely, man.
My daddy do that, man.
Really, my dad smoked turkeys. He tried to get me on the smoke, and I haven't done those yet.
Smoked turkey.
Yeah, I talked to him this week, man.
He really probably keep the moisture in them joints.
Look, my dad, he fire. Mm-hmm. He try like 70, he get off too. So he get off. I talked to my dad this week about coming on the show.
Oh man.
He's the type of nigga my dad is, right? So I told him that you had your dad on there.
Yeah.
First thing he said, what's that nigga like? Because your dad is, man, I'm telling you. I said, man, you're a normal nigga, man. He probably like you. He probably like you just from in that. Nah, man, your dad a different nigga, man. I'm telling you, man, because I'm gonna be on there talking about getting shot and getting saved by the Lord and all that, man. I said, bro, just go listen, nigga. Like then you'll see exactly. But he and Big Reese to him, and he like, as almost as if he had to give the approval. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that, yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah, that sounds like space for your dad.
Yeah.
So, I was telling him how real we keep it on there and shit, man. But it was just funny. His response was immediately, "Who was my competition?" That's hilarious.
That's gonna
But
be
yeah,
dope
so
when we get him on here.
I can't wait, man. That nigga got 1,000 stories, man. But I think you're really gonna enjoy it too.
Okay,
But yeah, I talked to him this week. That's
okay.
in the works. We try to make that happen before the end of the year. But yeah, like we were saying, as far as the holiday plans, man, I enjoy cooking, so I do plan on, like you saying, I want to host a like birthday / Thanksgiving dinner maybe next year, somewhere around there, and get everybody together. Maybe you and the fam will come down, we'll rent a big space or some shit. But I do plan on doing that. You're right.
Okay.
I want to have something like that that's big, that's family oriented, that's
Are
fun
you the one
around
in your
people.
family?
Man, you know what? That's what the bittersweet part of the holidays is. It was my grandmother, man. Like,
Right.
and I know a lot of people our age probably feel this now because we're not carrying those family traditions. But yeah, it was my grandma, man. Like I don't think all of us have gotten together on a holiday since she passed.
Yeah.
Like it was the known thing. Like you just pull up over Granny house, like bro, everybody will be there, food will be there, chilling. That was the thing for my family, and it hasn't really happened since she passed. I think it's been 3 years, 2020, right when COVID started. Yeah, so it ain't really happened a lot since then. Or while she was sick, so it's been about 4 or 5 years since like the fam really just got together. But we don't have that person in my family. Man.
So I guess then that's you. That person's you.
A couple of these plays, we make a couple of these plays, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it happen there. You make it have another week in the books holiday event.
Hey, you know what I'm saying, man? We giving out turkeys like
everybody
Nino.
bring a dish. Yeah, we do a whole little
Straight up.
do a whole little potluck, man. People bring their best dishes and shit.
Yeah. I got some joints. I'm thinking about opening up a food truck, but I'll keep y'all posted on that.
A vegan food truck?
I'm still trying to work out the specifics, really. Me and my wife, it's been an idea we've been playing with for a while, but I hadn't quite locked in on it because I was just like, I'm not passionate about cooking, but I do enjoy it. And I do enjoy when people like it. And I'm like, if I'm going to be working and I do something necessarily I don't care as much about, why not do your own business? I'll get more into it as I work, and I'm still working out the kinks, but I'm in a great state for that. Just to sum that up, like Florida's a great state for
absolutely.
like year-round weather. Like it's easy, like it's there. It's just I got
passionate. How passionate are you about business?
Like what do you mean?
So of course, a food truck is going to be cooking, but in any endeavor that you take up, it's the business side of it too. And where most people get caught up is, hey, I love to do this, but I don't love the business that comes with it. Like I know the processes. I did this before. Either I worked somewhere that did it, or I really enjoy it, and I get it, like you said, a thrill out of doing it. But how much are you going to enjoy? Like, okay, if I got to buy the product for this much, I got to sell it for this much, I got to spend this much on marketing, I got to network this much. I got to come up with these menus and game plans and expand and hire people and deal with HR shit. Oh, they harassing. Like one of my workers is harassing another worker and they almost got in a fight. How much do you enjoy that stuff?
Yeah, that's the challenge. That's a part of the nucleus.
I'm different from that's the stuff that I love. I'm different.
It's certain parts of it I do.
Love business. Yeah, like I love talking business, like numbers and strategy. Like that's the thing that I love more so, I think, probably than most stuff.
But check this out.
Right.
How do you feel about actually the action of it? Okay, I got to call, like, for example, let's just say you got a food truck business.
Right.
I got to call this person to get a parking space, or I got to link into this group thing of food truck community. I got to link into that. Yeah. Oh, okay, now I got to get the LLC. So now how do you feel about the actual action of doing the work? Yeah, like I got to do the question. You know what I mean? Like I can talk all day.
I would prefer to delegate.
Exactly.
I would prefer to be good enough in business where when that shit does happen, I can call somebody like, look, you need to go down there, you need to do that.
Yep.
This is what needs to happen. Don't leave until you get this answer or talk to this person.
Yeah.
Call me when it's done. But the strategy part of it for me is that's the most fun part of most stuff.
Yeah.
Like coming up with the strategy, coming up with the game plan. In good faith, though. And when I say in good faith, man, I don't like talking to people who are full of shit, but try to act like they for real about stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate that. But I deal with a lot in sales. That's why I said that. But yeah, the strategy part of it and the planning and how you put the logistics together. I'm always interested.
I can do all that.
I'm the weirdo to be out and like when you see stuff, I wonder how they put this shit together. I wonder who they had to call to do that. I wonder how they got this person here, where they get the vendors from. I wonder who they pay, who thought that color would be right. Like all of that shit is interesting to me.
See, now that's me. Like I'll look at a graphic and like I'll look at like an off-brand graphic and I'm looking, and we'll get to the main thing, but like I look at an off-brand graphic, I'm like, see, they gonna do all right because they know they're generic and they know the big head competitors, but they took the time to actually get the proper graphic design for their label for this pizza sauce or this, this dessert or what package or whatever. So I be that person. Like, so I like logistics, like consulting, like that is me. Like when you want to talk about, I just talked to my cousin the other day, like breaking some stuff down. And he was like, nigga, you're the only person I know that will listen to me as long-winded as I am. And then be able to spit it back at me on some like, all right, this is what it is, bro. And he was like, bro, every time we talk, bro, I just appreciate it. I was like, yeah, because that's what I do. But
what is it about that you like?
It's like problem solving, putting like a puzzle, crossword puzzle, like regular puzzle, putting the pieces together. It's the solving, you know what I'm saying? Like getting the mind mystery, I think it's all in that, kind of starting at zero and landing somewhere. There's something that feels good about that coming of age story, all those things. I like all that. Like that's why I made my audio drama. I like the idea of starting at a point and trying to get it to a point, so
here's a question I have about that for a parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering that this week, and this kind of ties into it.
Okay.
How do you do creative thinking exercises like that with your child, like with your daughter now? Like she's 9, right?
Yes.
So when she's like, Daddy, I did this or this, that, and the third, or I think this, that way, how often do you question her and be like, well, how did you get there? Like, what made you think that? Do you do that a lot, or is that frowned upon? I'm asking as a non-parent. Like, how does that work?
It's not frowned upon. It's probably sometimes. It's asked probably sometimes.
It's what?
Asked. I probably will ask sometimes, probably half the time.
There's an Indianapolis accent coming up. The Midwest and
asked.
You put an N in there, didn't you? It was A-N-S-K.
You were the first person I ever heard. I mean, somebody said I had an accent, but like it was years ago. But I was like, I didn't anyway. But yeah,
y'all niggas from the Midwest got a slick. Like y'all have slick accents where like they slick. There's no drawl or it ain't as correct as a California accent. Y'all like right in the middle. Like y'all have a little bit of Southern, a little bit of West Coast accent.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's probably that makes more sense. I definitely
I got a lot of homeboys. Nah, I ain't got no East Coast. I got a lot of homeboys from the Midwest. Ironic, like all of y'all, I got that same kind of look.
You think me and Rich? Do you pick up similarities at all?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You, Rich, Nick,
man, yeah.
It's like 4 or 5 more homeboys that I got from like in the middle of America. Yeah, like that.
So it's like there's a certain properness to it. You think?
Cleveland, yeah, it is.
Certain pacing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I got a country draw.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You do. Yeah. It's so crazy because you could do that Atlanta accent real like smooth. Like I would think you were from ATL if I didn't.
That's
like.
Tennessee.
I know your regular accent's Tennessee, but like when you do like the TI, like like when you do the TI actual, it'd be like. But anyway,
hey boy, it's hard to understand them niggas. Them niggas speak another language down here, boy. You catch the young Atlanta niggas, you guys like, what, bro? What did you say? You feeling old on a motherfucker.
We'll go have a conversation at some point because I would talk about like pronunciation and enunciating and all that because. That's a huge thing. I imagine you being from the South. I'm from the Midwest, but I was a rapper at one point, and I remember,
me even being in sales. That's huge.
Oh, sales,
because like people pick up on like I do phone sales too. Like you got to make sure that you like. There's some people out there that like it's a black person. Like you gotta
Oh,
make
so you're trying to mask?
Nah, not mask, but there's just a way that you talk to where it shouldn't even you you don't want to be too overly one way or the other. You can't mask it too much and sound like you're faking it, but you also don't want to sound too comfortable and sound like you're a professional.
Like slanging it.
There's a heavy, yeah, there's a really, Jesus Christ.
I said, oh, relax, dude. Like, golly.
Slanging it was crazy. Oh,
man.
Yeah, you got to get somewhere in the middle, man. You got to be somewhere in the middle, man. Talking like, and that is a good conversation to have. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. It's something we should talk about on here, one of the chapters of the book, because a lot of us, it took one of my ex to bring it up to me, and she was like, bro, you can't be talking like it, like when you pitching in rooms and shit. And I'm thinking that I podcast, like at first it offended me,
of course,
but then if you think about it, I thought about it and I was like, well, that is right, because
what were you saying specifically? Do you think it was a thing?
I was just about to tell you, it was one of the big things from Tennessee, Nashville especially. We say like that, like when you saying verses like that, like everybody in Nashville, so not like that is a thing. Are you talking about like that right there? Like that right there? Like that's how we say it.
Wow,
like that right there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it flows naturally.
It's a combo.
I have to catch myself and be like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one of the things.
Did it force you to slow
one
down?
of the things that she pointed out to me. Yes, absolutely. It made me think more before I spoke and how I said things. Maybe even avoid some words, use words in the place, because I know I ain't even gonna get that right from a dialect standpoint. So let me just get the dictionary out and use another word, the thesaurus out. But yeah, definitely that's a conversation that needs to be had here, where we have these type of conversations, dialect and how you talk with people, because it ain't about sounding white.
No,
it ain't about that at all. It's just sounding right. Good, great.
Shouts out to the homegirl. She said, "I'm not." She said, "I'm not talking white. I'm talking right." And when she said that, I was like, "Bro, that's a bar." Shouts out to Jamie.
Because you got to think, man, when you're doing business, you want somebody to be talking to you professionally, bro. Like when you go in places and you making orders with food or you talking to someone over the phone, you don't want them using their fucking slang.
Talking about you feel. Talking about like, so you can get this for this. If you invest in this, you can do this. You feel me? Bro,
get the nigga up here to get the nigga up here to talk right. Bro. Like I don't even like get this nigga out.
You start saying you feel me. Oh man,
I don't even want to spend no money with you, nigga.
You like, bodied it until you said you feel me. Like,
hell nah. Is that fake? Is that fake though? Like us being where we come from and not being any holier than thou gods, we're not any stuck up, prude type of people in any sort of way. Is that fake though for us to be like, I'm spending money with you, bro, you should have a better dialect than that? Like,
you saying like from us on the other side of it?
I'm asking, can you resonate also with the young nigga that's like, it's his first job and he's still kind of rough around the edges and things of that nature? Does that still make you feel uncomfortable, or you still be like, bro, needs some more training? Like, how does that make you feel?
If bro can explain it through the through the dialect, the slang, however he finessing it, like, I'm cool. Like he's like, basically what I'm trying to say is, you feel me? Like, you got to do this for so many weeks. After that, if he breaking it down still, I'll work with that.
Okay.
I'll work with that.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to put on. I want somebody to be genuine, but I also want them to be professional. I don't want them to act a certain way. If I'm spending money, you explaining something to me, you're a waiter. I don't want you to act a certain way because you feel like you have to do that because you're at work, but I do want you to be professional. Like it's hard. If I'm spending money, I want you to be professional, bro. That's hard.
Well, sometimes being professional is acting.
Yeah, but it shouldn't seem like it though. That's part of being professional.
See, but now that's
part of being professional and being good.
But now you're creating a whole new challenge.
It's not. It's part of it. That falls under the purview of professionalism. Sometimes I gotta act a little bit, bro.
But here's what you said. You said, I'm being professional, and I said, well, that requires acting. You said, well, yeah, you gotta act professional without seeming like you're acting. So now the seeming like you're acting is an act inside of an act.
Okay.
So that is a whole different bag.
Doesn't that mean that you care though?
It does, but
exactly. That's all I'm trying to get to.
But I wouldn't say that's the only indication. I wouldn't
I'm
say
paying you. You asking for a tip. You asking for assistance. You signed up for this job. You should have signed up to do whatever you're doing with the expectation of at some point I have to be professional. At some point, being professional is acting out a certain thing that people think you're supposed to be. That's what being a professional is. That's why you get paid to be a professional.
No, you're right, but you're saying for it to not come off like that. You're being
right. That's part of being a professional.
No. Here's what I'm saying. Because you could be at a restaurant.
Granddad, no.
I was like, hold on.
Auntie, like, hold on now.
Wait a minute now.
Wait a minute.
Watch that now. No, but like you be at a restaurant, like we was at an Olive Garden, and this dude was like, he was selling hard on the like extra personable. You know, at one point it's like, all right, bro, you kind of, all right, we got it. Like, you know, we don't need every, but the fact of the matter is,
trying to sell you an Olive Garden is insane.
What?
I'm talking about trying to sell you.
Not selling something, but like I'm talking about as far as I'm selling myself as your server. Like you're like I want to make you guys feel comfortable right at home, whatever you need. Like he's selling it. However, he was overselling it, but I didn't chalk that against him of, like you said, coming off like you're not trying, because I realized the fact that you're trying to be professional and personable, even if it's not smooth as you think it is, I respect it and I honor it, because you see what I'm saying? You're saying you got to be professional, so it's acting, but come off like you're not acting.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no.
Yes. That's the job, bro. That's what that's it. That's the job.
Only black people can do that.
What do you mean? Why do you say that?
Because we always have to be camouflage.
Okay.
Only us can do that. We literally go through everything in life in this country where they call it code switching, but it's really just we're being a certain way because we're playing the game. We popped in 2 quarters and we're at a disadvantage. We don't got no extra lives. And so we're being a certain way because we have to, because it's the system is rigged for us to lose. We're playing on expert. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I think everybody deals with that, with the exception of white men. White men can just show up however, it don't fucking matter.
You may be right.
Like, but I think everybody else code switch to a degree. And again, like you said, my expectation is if you're here and you're good at this, you should be able to do this without me feeling like you're putting on an act. It should come off as authentic. If you're good at it, I'm not requiring everyone to be good at it. That's why I think that me and you are getting hung up at it. Like, I'm saying if you're good at it. I ain't saying that everybody can do it. I'm saying the good people, when you're like, dang, like, but you know, like if you go on a great example I'll use is like if you go on a vacation, you and your lady, the family, the concierge person, like the person that teach you, would tell you about what's going on in the area, recommend restaurants. Oh, these are the activities that we have going on the resort. That person authentically sells it like they're not doing too much, but they are selling you, and you can tell they're doing their job. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I understand the fakeness that goes into most stuff. However, I don't want it to be like you reading from a script. Give me some effort, bro. Like show me, not even show me you love what you do, but show me that you have an appreciation for what you do.
Like that's what I say. Of it.
Yeah, show me that you here, you getting paid for it. Like, just show me that you appreciate what you do. I ain't asking you to love it. I ain't asking you to kiss my ass. I'm just asking you, like, okay, I see why you here, why you do this. I fuck with you. You got good information. It was presented well. You didn't seem like it was the last day on earth because you was at work today and you wanted to be with your boyfriend. Mm-hmm. I just present it well. That's all I ask. That's the number one thing for me as far as customer service or when I'm shopping with people.
Are you
or what I look
judgmental
for
about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, you almost had me until you went back there. This guy.
I am, bro. I used to like when I was in a relationship, my girl would tell me all the time, like, you're way too judgmental.
Well, I guess like, I probably just have to see you.
I expect it, bro.
I guess when we do link up, when it's me, you, and Rich or whatever, like, I just have to see you in action as far as like we'll go to grab a bite to eat somewhere. see, I'm gonna try to get your gauge for the service. Like, all right,
I'm not gonna be an ass. I'm never gonna be.
I know you're not
asshole
gonna do
about it,
that,
'cause
but
it's
I
just a
want to see
thing.
your real observation. Like when they walk off, yeah, what you think? Yeah, they selling it right. They got it. They seem like they. I want to get your. I want to get your real
Real
time.
time observation.
Yeah, bro.
We're gonna do that on TikTok or something. We're gonna
Yeah, we
establish
gotta
a
get.
TikTok and do that in real time, like Keith Lee.
Yeah, bro.
What did you think about the service, Spike?
Dog. Spike Lee's reviews, man. Like, yeah. But this week, man, we've been having a good time today. This week we're talking about stubborn and pridefulness. I know Spike normally.
How did you get there?
How'd I get there?
How did you get there, brother?
Because I've been both of these things. I've been these things.
As if you're not now.
Oh.
It's like Chrissy.
People don't even know what that's for. Like
the intervention.
Yeah, like, oh, they was like, no, when they hit the dude, the brick, they was super loud with it. Like that was the loudest of the show. But I've been, well, I guess Spike has a different observation, but nonetheless, like
I was speaking for myself, really.
Oh, but like being stubborn, being prideful, I think that's a conversation that needs to be had, because a lot of opportunities are missed when you're stubborn and prideful. But then on the other side of it, sometimes being stubborn and prideful benefits you. So I thought it was a really interesting two-sided coin to have a conversation about.
Well, I can't wait to get to the benefit part, because I want to hear what you think about that.
So, okay, well, can we start there?
Let's do it.
Do you think there's benefits at all to being stubborn or prideful?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I do, but I am a very stubborn and prideful person, which kind of dilutes my answer.
Bias.
Yeah, I got a bias. Like I that's why I was saying that I can't wait to hear what you think, because admittedly so. And a lot of that feeds into the two things that feed into it. I had to think about when you sent this over, and I really did a little deep dive, as I do before the topic, to see where I would go with it, or what type of response I would have for it. A lot of being stubborn and prideful for me is dealing with coming up with no siblings. Like I get there. Somebody pointed out to me, when you have siblings, those are your first earliest debate partners. Like those are the people that you engage in stuff with, that you those are the people that break down the walls, per se. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got this one natural enemy, maybe at the parents, and they being hard on y'all or whatever it may be, but you have that sidekick there, and you have, even though it's somebody that's pissing me off, stealing my toys, doing stuff that I hate, it's my brother or my sister, and I love them, and this is a part of life experience. That breaks down a wall for being stubborn and prideful, and from what I understand, or how it's been explained to me, when you're an only child, it's me against the world, per se. So you get to sit in your stubbornness, especially if you don't have engaged parents or friends who you really trust. You get to sit and be like, well, this is what I think about it, and that's just the way it is. Because you didn't grow up, or you don't have that person around you who come from the same circumstances, dealt with the same stuff, but may have a different perspective from you. So if you have siblings, you get the benefit of, we're in the same situation, I have a different perspective, and you can't be stubborn about it because you just sit here and saw me go through it just like you did. But I feel this way about it, and you feel this way about it. When you're an only child and you grow up in that house, so it's like, well, I feel this way about it, and this is fucking right. Like if Mom Dukes made you mad, it ain't nobody to be like, well, bro, you was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If something happens in school, it ain't, oh yeah, well, Miss Wright is like that, coming from the brother who's older than you or something of that nature. It's like, well, I see it this way, the teacher seen it this way, and my mom seen it this way. So you get in this place of, well, like, it's like, for lack of a better saying, like Pac said, well, it's me against the world when it comes to my thoughts. So that I acknowledge, and that's one of the things when I was going, well, excuse me, as I go through therapy, that I really trying to focus on. That's probably my biggest area of improvement, where I can improve, is being less stubborn and less prideful. I'm bad at it. I'm really bad at it. Like I can stop talking to somebody or whatever, it'd be like just being stubborn, like, okay, fuck it. No, I never got to talk to them ever again in life. They pissed me off, or I pissed them off, and ain't neither one of us trying to fix it. So fuck it. We can keep it moving. And I could be stubborn or prideful and act like I was right
because you felt no need of.
Ain't no need.
Because you never had, there was never a moment.
Never had to mend those exactly.
So then,
never
how
had to
is
mend
it
those relationships?
Okay, so then how do you, now that we've had conversations, shouts out to Rich and Ray P for that episode. We was talking about reconciliation. So how do you feel about not necessarily reconciliation, but like those kind of relationships where you have been an only child and the natural stubbornness of yourself could like say, nigga, well, I'm me. Get with it or don't. Like, I'm cool, whatever. I ain't mad at you, but I'm not gonna reach out to you either. Right. How do you get to, at your big age now, to the point where it's like, no, I want to value my relationships, and they don't have to necessarily be business based, but I want, being an only child, I'm trying to figure out how I can, on my side, keep this thing together. Are you at a place of not being stubborn to say, I'm at a place of working it out, even though it's unfamiliar to me because of my upbringing? Or is it still a place where you kind of like, okay, we at odds, we was cool or we was tight or whatever, but this is all I know, so this is what it is, regardless of where we both benefit in the relationship?
If I'm being 100% transparent, it honestly depends on how much I value that relationship. Right? Like, let's see.
Do you have relationships you don't value like that?
I wouldn't necessarily say that I didn't value like that. But I do have relationships where it's like, I don't know what happened, man. I ain't never talked to him ever again. I was like, okay, like we never talked again. However,
so
I will say
got
this,
to that point. Yeah,
I will say this though. There are relationships that I did realize that I was being stubborn with, and understood how valuable they were, and in my process of growth, realized that I will be the person to be like, hey, bro, what's up? You good? Everything okay? I ain't spoke to you in a while. Like I try because I know how stubborn and prideful that I am. So there have been people since, and this show had a lot to do with it, which is why y'all send the voice notes in. Y'all tap in with us next week for the Thanksgiving episode.
Come on.
Y'all can tell us, just like I tell this story right now. This show had a lot to do with it. Like, before this show, just being transparent and completely honest, me and Dro had been friends we played 12-year-old football together. But there was a period of time where we didn't talk for maybe 3 or 4 years. And it wasn't because I was mad at him or he was mad at me. He an only child too. So he probably has the same perspective that I have. Yeah, bro, I ain't reached out to me. I ain't gonna reach out to him. Just keep living my life, you know? But it was this show, and I credit to him. He reached out and was sending me messages. It was this show that made me be like, why haven't we talked though? There's no legit reason for that. So I've tried to pay attention to those relationships, those people, and the people that I feel like are worth checking in with, worth sending that text message to, worth me not being the stubborn or prideful only child and be like, well, I just wait till I hear from them again. There are those people that I definitely hold in that value. Dro being one of them, you being one of them. I mean, there's a lot of people I can name at this point, but there are people that I wouldn't let that affect our relationship. I wouldn't be the stubborn, prideful person, especially if nothing really happened. It was just, I mean, maybe one disagreement or maybe this happened and you rubbed you the wrong way. I wouldn't just throw it by the wayside as I would have maybe 5-10 years ago. So I have changed in that sense. Like, I do value relationships a lot more. However, there are still relationships where, like, if it happened, I probably would be like, okay, that's cool. For instance, again, in full transparency, because that's what this show is, Animal Brown and I, we were roommates when we first moved here. So that was like seeing each other every day. talking, game planning, strategy. Over the years, since both of us have kind of been doing our own thing, he and I talk on deck. We talk on the show, and we have a group chat that with like 6 other people in there that we talk in. But hitting him up and being like, "Hey man, what are you doing? What are you up to? You want to chill and watch a basketball game? Go get something to eat?" We haven't done that in at least 5 years. And it's not because he and I have an issue with each other. He and I both suffer from this stuff. But shit, Lou ain't hit me up. I ain't hit him up. Well, like, we gonna make sure that we do what we need to do each Thursday for the show or each week for the show on deck. But, and again, there's no animosity, there's no angst, there's no disagreement. It's just is what it is.
So that is what it is. What is that? It's not as the phrase, but like, because we talked about on a support episode, kind of like reaching out with grown men, reaching out to other grown men, our friends, brothers, whatever. Like an aspect like that, does it become like a thing where it's like, oh, well, this is what we do, so this suffices as the reach out?
So like you're saying, this suffices if we do the show together. This suffices as me and him talking and being friends.
Yeah.
And what are you asking about that? What do you mean? Like,
because let's just say y'all stop potting.
Okay. Are you asking when he and I talk?
Yeah. I mean, I think y'all would talk, but like, would it change as far as, okay, now I'm going to reach out. Hey bro, what you got going on? Like, when you free, bro, let's link up. Let's just, I mean, I don't know. I don't have friends here right now, so I don't even know what that looks like as far as reaching out to the homies and what we do. Like last time I did that was when I was in Indy on my birthday, right before I moved. We went to go, smoke cigars or whatever, you know what I mean? But like, I guess if that wasn't the case, like if y'all wasn't potting at this point in time, say, all right, yo, we locked in, this is what we doing, we're gonna go do Dolo. What does it become, or what would you think theory-wise it becomes as far as the relationship? Obviously no animosity, but does it become like Dro and you?
Obviously not. The
3-year thing? Does it become kind of like we just kind of fell off and did our own thing and we always gonna be cool?
Probably so.
Okay.
Probably so. And again, it's not because of animosity or anything. It's just
it's just what it is. But it's just, so do y'all look at it like doing the show kind of keeps in some way so into the friendship? Do you look at it like it kind of serves that in a way?
Probably, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And to add to that, and this is probably a me and a personality thing, a lot of the times my stubbornness and pridefulness is behind, like, I have this perception that people will think, oh man, Lou gonna be all right anyway. He's a smart dude. He this, he that, he got this going on, and I know he ain't worried about my phone call, so I'm not worried about his. A lot of that is me looking at it like that. A lot of it is me looking at it like, well, people will look at me and feel like, well, he's so busy or he got so much going on, like he's not gonna miss this interaction. He not gonna
he don't need me.
Yeah, that part. I'm glad you called that out. But yeah, that part. He don't need me. But that's not the case at all. Like, again, I'm emotional every time, nigga, I get feedback from the show. I need that. That feeds me. But I do think that part of the way that I carry myself, people will feel like, he don't need that. I ain't got to tell him he good. That nigga act like he know he good.
Wow.
I don't have to tell him that I appreciate it. That nigga know.
He don't.
Yeah, this, that, and the third. And I'm not as, I would say in a full transparent moment, I'm not as confident as people will perceive me to be.
Yeah.
I take, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'll pod with you, and you're telling me this, and I still probably with the people
believe.
Like I don't even have,
right.
Yeah, like I'm like you probably
like even okay, so cool. like that's a great point. Yeah. Because even think about it. when what you say now, right?
Mm.
You would say when you and I were starting to do this, we would talk on the phone, we would text, whoop de woo.
Yeah.
However, it got to a point where you felt like, and correct me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong here, but it got to a point where you felt like, oh, I'm getting on this nigga nerves. He's too busy. He's doing too much. I ain't gonna just shoot a random text message to him about some bullshit or because he may not think it's important.
Yep.
Is that right or wrong?
That's right.
That's right. That's wrong though.
Okay.
And that's my whole point. A lot of people will perceive my personality as I think I ain't gonna blah blah this blah blah. But that is the stuff that I'm most appreciative of because everyone looks at me that way. There are a few select people, and I spoke about my homeboy Scoops. Like he'll hit me up about bullshit. And he's the only person that has enough gall to do that because he really don't care. Like, lose my friend. Like, why wouldn't I call him about bullshit? And man, did you see this to happen the other day, man? And on top of that, tell me, man, I ain't listened to another week in the book I'm about 4 weeks behind, bro. But he just looks at me like this is just Lou. This is just my homeboy. Versus someone else looking at it like, man, he got so much going on, and I know he don't want to hear from me, but that's the furthest thing from the truth. And relaying that while still being a confident person and still making people think it's not that I need that. It's not that that's something that I'm like, I need that every day. However, when people are able to see me enough to see that, I mean, it's the same person. Like you and I, like you saying, like you kind of fell back from it because you felt like that I was busy. I'm the same person that you reached out to and was like, hey, let's do the Sopranos podcast. And you felt comfortable doing that. And you felt comfortable when we were planning this stuff and we were doing it together. It wasn't like, oh, I'm getting on this nigga nerves or I'm doing too much. A lot of people will do that for fail-safe because they think that I'm going to be like, man, why are you calling me with this bullshit? And that's not even my personality at all. That may be the wall that I put up to keep bullshit out. But for the people who really see it, again, like my homeboy, like, again, Scoops will call me like, man, like, bro, did you see this? Like man, no, nigga, I didn't see this. Where would I have seen this at?
Yeah.
But he doesn't care because he's looking at me like this is my homeboy.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think it's a lot of factors that go into it, bro. It's how people were introduced to you. It's if people don't have listened to you on shows like this to get the context, because what's essential here is, for me, I don't have the history. Right. So so the context is everything. So I have to constantly ask the right question to get the right context because I wasn't there growing up with you. So context is really king in this relationship and what we do. So like, what was a week or the last episode or the episode before, just like how you told me was like, no, like actually you was like, I'm more of a softie. I would give whatever I got to people. I had to actually do this. That was a breakthrough in my observation and understanding. Cause it's like the way I've been presenting, or at least how I've seen you based on deck. And then based on like here up until that point, this is what I got, so of course, yeah, I want to hit you on it, but then you got to remember in the early episodes, we're doing the homework and it's like, I don't want to check. Literally, bro, I listened to frames per second. No, I listened to frames per second today. And I went back to a Black Mirror episode. And,
that's funny.
And you was on there, of course, and they were talking about the Joan is Awful episode. And it was like, they was asking, like, did you watch all of Black Mirror? And you was like, nah, I watch them in spots. And I forgot, I don't know who it was. It's like, bro, oh, it's Mike. He was like, I can't believe, like, what do you mean you watch the spots? He was like, yeah, I just go off the thumbnail, and that's pretty much it. Like, and so I think in those internal things, when it's a person like you that's really direct, people try to match you with that.
What do you mean try to match you with it?
So when you understand somebody's direct, that means that the target is here. Right. I'm not going to really move outside of those margins. So if anything fits outside those margins, I'm not reaching out, because you're so direct and you've emphasized how direct you are that now I only feel comfortable in the margin of how you present it, how direct you are.
That's good.
Anything outside of that, oh, he's definitely not checking it out. I didn't get no response. I didn't get no reply. I didn't get no. And that might be you just being nice.
Yeah.
So then that's where I feel like you'll get the the person may not necessarily reach out because you're a person that has emphasized that. This is what I am. I'm very sure if this is what I'm on.
But see, here's the thing. And that was a great explanation. Good job by you.
Thank you.
The thing with that and why it means so much for me, for the people that do reach out regardless, is it's not about my response as much as it is about I'm sharing this with you because I fuck with you. Yeah, you may not like it. Yeah, it may elicit a response like, bro, why are you sending this to me? But the overall thought is I want Lou to see this, or I want my friend to see this, or the person who has a similar personality to me to see this, to let them understand, like, it's not, you're not living in your own world, bro. You have to figure this shit all out by yourself. Like, it's okay. It's okay, as you said, for you to come outside those margins. And sometimes I'm not even going to consider them because you mean that much to me as a friend, as a person, where I just want to hear what you think, even though I know you may not like it. And that, I think, is a great takeaway from this conversation that we're having when Black men are applying this to their life. Like, it's not about, I'm going to send this to my friend because they like it. I'm going to send this to my homeboy because I know I get a good response. It's more so about, I'm sending you just to let you know that I was thinking about your thought process. I know you're going to have something interesting to say about this or not. But even that, even or not, is something where, like, you and I, me and you, are engaging in. And with a person like me that has a personality like I have, what it is more so than the actual engagement is, oh, this person thought about me.
Mm-hmm.
That means a lot. And I think we're not as truthful with ourselves as Black men in those situations when we say it means a lot when my friend thinks about me.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, that ain't cool for us to say.
Yeah, we don't say
right?
that.
Like, that's not cool for us to say when we be like, my homeboy just hit me up to see how I was doing. Nigga, pause. Get that out of here. Nigga, nobody wants to hear that.
You're right.
However, with my personality, I understand that, like, sometimes, as you say, like, again, you and I talked a lot before we started this podcast. We would talk on the phone. We would exchange text messages. I seen Dan the other day, and for a moment of transparency, I seen Dan the other day, and he was like, yeah, I was listening to Another Week in the Book. I'm doing my white boy voice. He gonna hate this.
Oh, he gonna kill you.
I seen Dan the other day, and he's like, yeah, I listened to Another Week in the Books. I text Mo, and I was telling him, I'm not the voice for all white people. And me, the type of personality I have, I'm thinking, damn, I ain't talked to Dan in 2-3 weeks. This nigga hitting Mo up, and he can't hit me up and be like, well, you had me messed up in this part of it. Does that make sense?
Okay. I get that. Yeah, like, that does make great point.
I want people to understand the way that I carry myself doesn't mean that if I fuck with you, you can't be comfortable around me. And that was one of the, like, coming out of a relationship, that was one of the biggest problems that her and I had. Like, I just can't be comfortable. It's almost like I walk on eggshells when I feel like I want to tell you something or say something because you always seem so serious. But I also feel, I feel like that's on the other person, though. That's not on me.
Spike.
It's not on me to be like, oh, man, I need to be less serious.
You're right. But I think that what's going to happen is you're going to have to start thinking about the rebrand. Because if you're seeing this on a consistent level, then you do have to.
I never said I'm seeing it on a consistent level. I named you and one other.
You name, but that, I don't know all the people in the list. You know what I'm saying? But let's say so. You didn't say that. All right, let me not assume. All right, but if it's something that you feel is some kind of a consensus, and some in your own world, whatever the number or the people, maybe it's not a high number, maybe it's just the importance of the people that
exactly. There you go. It's how I feel about those people who have said it. I could care less if it's somebody that, yeah, you should feel that way about me, nigga.
Right, because you don't know me.
I don't want you hitting me up like that.
Gotcha.
You're right. But if it's someone like I'm saying,
like they have more significance than your like.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then it bothers me that y'all feel that way.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm trying to remember where I was going. So the consensus part of it, like, okay, that's what this show will continue to do. Let me speak to that corner of the world as far as like that. It was like it will continue to do that, where it will open you up to people where they're like, okay, dang, he does feel reachable, obtainable, personable. I can connect with him. You know, because we talked about a week or two ago about like when you saying like I'm embarrassed because of this thing, because people put me in a certain place from a success level that I ain't necessarily reached at that moment. But like if there's a thing, then it's like that's where I would start, because I've had moments like, bro, I went through a rebrand. I mean, I imagine you have too. Like that's a part of maturation. You know what I mean? If you want to go places, you're going to do a rebrand. So that's a part of like just being a man and being a human being. But what I would say as far as the reach out part too, and we'll get more into this conversation, but like the reach out part too, people sending something to you because they just want to let you in their world, that's only half of it. The other half of it is I'm sending you that. I want to let you in my world, but I also want you to engage in my world by responding. Because if you don't respond or you're not into it, which is via text message, via homework to the old version of this.
I'm not going to keep doing this if you're not doing it.
It's okay. So now it's like, okay, you're not interested in my world. So now it changes the dynamic of now they'll say, okay, let me stay in the margins. So when you want people to get outside of the margins, you have to realize if they send something to you, they've opened you up into what they got on their mind. So you have to embrace and say, okay, I don't care nothing about this, but the fact that they bringing this up, they said this, let me take my little 5 minutes, at least get in here, because they thought they wanted me in their world for some reason at this moment. So that's a part of it. It's not just sending it just to send it because I don't care how you feel. I love you. I just want to send you something. I want you to engage in that with me.
And your suggestion of saying that, what does that mean though? Does that mean watching the whole video and giving you a synopsis, or I received it, thumbs up emoji, or like okay. For a person like that's saying that, like what does that mean as far as,
okay,
I sent this to you and I expect more than, oh, okay, cool, I'll check it out?
It's hard now because of our show now, it built, I told you, like after those two back-to-back episodes, I feel like it changed both of us in the show. I think it made you a little more sensitive to things, and it made me a little more thicker on the skin. Pause. So now it's like I'm kind of not looking for that.
You weren't taking it personally. At first, you were kind of taking it personally.
Yeah, I definitely was, because of how I looked at you at that point, where I'm like, I felt I can reach you. I felt the personable. That's the whole reason I reached out. But when it was like, and again, it was maybe premature, because it's like, okay, we don't know. We're probably, let's like episode 17, 18. We're at 68 now. So it's like, okay, well, we wasn't necessarily at that point yet as far as our personal rapport. But as black men, we had but at this point, it's different. But if I were to put myself in that mindset,
you don't take it personal now, right?
No, not at all.
It's more so, for now, you've grown to know me more. You're like, okay, that's Lou.
Yeah,
that's what.
Yeah, that's that. So, and again, I mean, I will send. I
think that's the best place to be in friendship, though.
Okay.
Like I think false expectation amongst each other as black men lead us down a dangerous path. Like I think that's where you get outside of what we're talking about now, the snitching and all that shit where niggas telling on their homeboys, like the false expectations of, you should have known from day one that this nigga wasn't built for this. However, because you recruited him into a lifestyle, or you convinced him to do something that he shouldn't have did, now when this nigga facing the pressure, you wondering why he's telling, hey, he wasn't never built for this. Like y'all niggas didn't never have a bond. Y'all niggas didn't never really understand what the other person wanted. I think you and I, to bring it back to this, have a clear understanding or are getting a more clear understanding as we do this each week of, I know what Mo expects. He knows what I expect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to meet those expectations. And yes, sometimes we'll go above and beyond. And that will be great content and podcasting. However, what I'm not going to do is put him in a situation where he wasn't trying to do this, but I'm kind of forcing him into it anyway. I'm going to push him a little bit, just, you know what I'm saying, just to make sure. Like, I have a respect for you not to do that. And I think you have a respect for me not to do that. Mm-hmm. In those earlier episodes, we were trying to figure that out. Mm-hmm. Where's the threshold? Like, what, how much can I ask him to do? Like, how much should I ask him to consume? A 30-minute episode, 15-minute? If I put him on homework, is how long should it be? What should it be?
Yeah.
You know, like, because that's a real thing.
Yep.
But the commendable thing about the relationship that you and I have built is that both of us have shown thick skin to be like, I know he doesn't have any bad intentions.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I want people to take from this conversation. Like, vetting the people that you're dealing with and knowing that they're operating with you in good faith.
It take a long time to get there too.
It does. Well, it can if you're not asking the right questions.
Well,
or if you're not paying attention.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Me and you are professionals at doing this, so we pay attention a lot more to how we're operating. So when you say it take a long time to get there, yeah, in everyday life, because I got a wife, I got kids and shit that I deal with, I got a job. I ain't got time to figure out how no nigga needs to communicate with me. I don't give two fucks about you, bro. Yeah, like, we getting dead this right now. I never have to talk to you again.
I'm good. Like,
right. However, you and I are in business, right? Mm-hmm. So we have to figure out the means of communication and be like, okay, well, I know for a fact, this is what I know for a fact, that you and I, when I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, it's always in good faith.
Yeah.
It's not manipulative. It's not, well, let me try to convince him to do this, even though I know that he wouldn't. It's, hey, look, this is what I'm thinking. I genuinely want to know what you're thinking. Mm-hmm. If the feedback is good or bad, I don't care. I just want to know what you think in return about the idea that I presented to you. Mm-hmm. As Black men, we need to feel safer in those spaces and presenting those type of ideas and not holding people, like you said, in those margins of, I expect this type of response from. Mm-hmm. But getting to the point where, like, I'm operating in good faith. This person knows I'm operating in good faith, and he can say yes or no, and it doesn't really matter, and it won't affect our relationship because I know their personality, and I know they're not trying to be that way towards me. But one of the key episodes, really quick, and I'll let you get one of the key episodes in this series was the homework one. And what I really wanted you to understand was, bro, I'm never, because I appreciate this relationship, I'm not operating in good faith. Excuse me, I'm not operating in bad faith with what we do. So if you tell me to listen to something, I'm not being malicious. So if you tell me to listen to something, you tell me to do something, it's not that I don't give a fuck about your idea or your fuck about your presentation. I genuinely didn't get a chance to do it, or I just wasn't interested. But we're good enough friends or building a good enough foundation for you to be like, okay, that's cool. That don't, like, I'm not hurt by that. I'm not butthurt. I'm not going to stop talking to you because you weren't interested in something that I presented. Mm-hmm. On to the next idea. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times we get caught up in that, and they got me fucked up, man. I told him about it. He ain't do nothing. He ain't care.
You right. Like, but you know, hot take, I think that's a lot of men's in it's pause, whatever you want, whatever. And we even got to pause it. Like, this is man talk. Yeah, but a lot of times that's a man's love language, I think.
Tell me more about what you mean.
I think, like, when a man is courageous enough to try to present something, like, let's just say to his lady before we take it to like homeboy or whatever, like, I can, you know, it's like when we say, okay, okay, so the lady, like, okay, I know you enough to think, at least say, okay, I know you, I know what I'm into. I've tried to figure out, based on what I'm into and what you're not into, how I can cater to how I can meet in the middle and figure out what you're into. So when men take the time to do that, because we know men don't always make the effort, and they do that, and then the woman just kind of like, oh, okay, well, you know, all right, whatever. Or like, because I had some a little bit ago, like I figured this out. Like, I was like, man, I'm taking this really personal, but I realized, like, okay, this is part of my love language. It's like I made my wife, like, we were headed to church, but I know she got to eat. I'm like, I made her a quick breakfast sandwich. And when I waited on her, me and daughter in the car, and I wait on her. She come in there, and she don't have the breakfast sandwich in the car. So I'm like, "Where's the sandwich?" You know what I'm saying? And she didn't really say nothing. So my feelings was genuinely hurt. I was like, "Bro, I really put my effort into thinking about you and put in making that happen. Now bringing it back to the homeboy friendship or whatever, even us, it's like, okay, I've been watching stuff, I've been checking out stuff, I'm thinking about this. So it's like, okay, now I've thought about you, I've thought about what I'm into, and I've tried to cater it to what I believe you would be into. And then, like, of course, like you said, well, I just ain't into it. And I cut it short. Then it's like, damn, I feel something.
That's the part that I like to address. Like, that's what the conversation is most fruitful in and what we're talking about now.
Right.
If we have a relationship, and you brought up a good point, like even with your wife, like, bro, that's your wife. Why would it offend you if, like, she forgot a breakfast sandwich? You know she fuck with you for the long haul, bro. For lack of a better word, excuse my language, that's your bitch.
No, I know what you mean.
Like, okay, she forgot the breakfast sandwich. Okay, cool. My problem and my personality trait where what we're speaking about this is, well, like, it sometimes it baffles me for people who know that I fuck with them. Like, you know that I fuck with you. However, one small indiscrepancy or one small thing that I did where you're feeling like, oh, I'm so offended. It's hurting me so bad. I'm like, okay, cool. But you know, at the end of the day, I fuck with you. Like, why does it hurt you that bad? Okay, there was a mishap on my end. You can bring to my attention. I'll receive it. I'm sorry. It's cool. Why does it make you feel a certain type of way when it doesn't happen how you wanted it to happen? That's almost kicking out everything that we've built together. Like, you should have that type of discernment for me where you're like, okay, maybe he's just having a bad day. Maybe he really just don't fuck with it, and it's cool that he don't fuck with it. I ain't got to make that much more of a bigger deal about it. It is what it is. Maybe she missed a breakfast sandwich. That's cool. Oh, you ain't got the breakfast sandwich, baby. It's cool. Let me give you a kiss on the cheek. Let's head to church. Let's receive a good word. It's not about, and it's hard to do this. I know. I'm saying this from a place of having the stubborn personality. And again, I deal with it too, what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's hard to be like, okay, cool. I won't take this personal. One of the biggest things for me in relationships and why I struggle in a lot of them is when people start taking stuff personal that I never meant to be personal. And I thought that we were on a good enough standing to where if I responded this way, yeah, it may offend you for a moment, but it lasting 2-3 days, or you bringing it up and we having a conversation about this.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like, you and I are strong. We solid. Like, we ain't got to talk about missed homework assignments like that. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But just that being said, I think for people who have a personality like mine, it's a lot more offensive when people react and say, oh, you didn't respond the way that I thought you were going to respond. Okay, cool. Who cares? That don't mean I don't like you. That don't mean I don't fuck with you. That don't mean that we ain't on the same page still. I just didn't respond the way that you thought I respond. Maybe I was having a bad day. Maybe I just genuinely don't like this and didn't have the heart to tell you because I fuck with you so much. Whatever it may be. But why are you taking it to the point of, oh, I'm offended? Because you know that I fuck with you.
So now, Spike, that we talked about, I don't remember what the word you used. You can't have it both ways. That's a perfect example. This is why you can't have it both ways, Spike.
Meaning
because you can't have it where you want people to reach out to you on some BS like, nigga, they ain't even that serious. Like, I just want you to reach out, but then on the other side, then when they do reach out, and then you like whatever about it, and they like offended, like, damn, bro, I was trying to be whatever. And you don't even, respond at all. Like, then you can't be offended, like mad at that. Oh,
doesn't that make the reach out less genuine though?
What do you mean?
In the scenario that you just explained, that makes the reach out less genuine in the sense of, I'm not just sharing this with you because I thought it was interesting or because I thought you were a dope person. I actually was looking for your response, and your response wasn't what I thought it would be. Now I'm offended.
No. I don't think it makes it less genuine. I think that you sent it with an intention and an expectation. I'm not saying necessarily right if you are offended, because your expectation and then the response to it didn't necessarily line up. So I'm not saying that that person necessarily right if you be like, whatever. But what I'm saying is if they send it and they had an expectation and it didn't necessarily line up, when they stop sending it, then you kind of got to.
Why would you stop sending it though? That's my point. That's the whole point of
because that part
like, man, why would you stop sending it just based off my responses? You're doing this based off our relationship, not our response.
Okay,
like you're doing this because you fuck
response
with me
is a part of the relationship, bro. Like, you can't act like it's not. Like, because if you were the homeboy and you like, bro, like, I did this to my girl, but like, bro, I'm trying to work it out or whatever. You got a niggas like, man, just leave that be. Like, whatever, leave it. Like, then you know it's like, okay, based on his response, I'm not reaching out again.
Talking to him about it.
Yeah, like it versus somebody be like, all right, bro, I kind of get it. I mean, you dirty, but you could try to clean this thing up. You can figure it out. You can get on the right track with your, you know what I mean? So that doesn't mean it's less genuine if they had an expectation, you know, because I imagine they gauged it based on your personality. But
that's fair. But what I'm yearning for and
yearning
the
vocabulary.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this. What you just said was correct. The ideal relationship amongst a partner, as far as being a man, woman, or even in friendships, is giving that context and not being ashamed of giving it. Like a lot of times I think we feel like I shouldn't have to tell this person that this means a lot to me as far as their response.
Big facts.
So just sitting in it and assuming, oh, he didn't respond the way that I wanted him to respond, so I think he doesn't care, so I'm going to cut the communication in that sense. Versus doing, hey, bro, I sent this to you. I expected you to respond. And I'm looking forward to what you got to say about it. That's a lot different from, hey, check this out. Tell me what you think about it, whatever it may be. It's cool. If you don't respond, that's a lot different from, no, I'm valuing your opinion in this. And not being ashamed to say that to your fellow black man or even the woman that you're in a relationship with, like not being afraid to say like, hey, I sent this to you. I was expecting some type of recourse. Because it meant a lot to me. We got to get to a place where that's comfortable as well.
So the double text is cool.
Bro, if you double, you took the words right out of my mouth. Like there would be no scenario where I look at it and be like, man, Mo double texting me. This nigga sick, man. Like what the fuck you got going on? Like,
he's sick.
Because you and I have established that we're friends.
Yeah.
Like we have that type of relationship. So if you would have pressed me and be like, hey, bro, I look at you in this certain type of way, like I really want to know what you think about this. It means a lot to me. Like it take a lot of pride swallowing, theme of the episode. You got to swallow some pride to double text and be like, I'm not going to assume that this shit didn't mean anything to them. But what I am going to do is get to the bottom of it because I fuck with this person and I really do want to know what they think. So yeah, I'll send you another text. Or I'll follow up with it and ask you, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, you ain't never respond to it. Like, as friends, as men, we should feel comfortable if we have solid relationships with calling each other out. I have no problem with a nigga calling me out that I fuck with. It's the nigga that I don't know, they don't know shit about me, to be like, man, you ain't like, nah. If it's a nigga that I fuck with and you call me out and be like, nah, bro, just like the homework episode. You did a thorough, great job in calling me out and be like, nah, bro, I don't get down with how you're responding to what I'm sending you. Like, it's not cool for me. But you were only able to do that because you felt the connection with me and we're on an established level where you're like, nah, this is my brother. We may have a disagreement and that's cool. We can disagree. But at least this nigga gonna know how I feel and know that it's not any malice, not any malintent on what we got going on. But I definitely want to let you know how important your feedback was to me and how taken aback I was that you didn't respond to it because I expected something different.
So
like, we got to get
comfortable
in that follow-up and different. In that follow-up and doing it. Did what hit different?
So that'll hit different for you. Like if
absolutely, nigga, I would be so taken aback. Like I would feel so ashamed if a nigga that I fucked with sent me some shit that I didn't respond to, and then he followed up and was like, "Hey man, bro, what are you doing, bro?" Like I really wanted to know what you thought about that. I really wanted your opinion. I really think that you're good at this, and I could use this moving forward because I'm trying to be better for myself. I didn't send this shit to you out of the good of my heart, like some health factor. I sent this to you because you're the person that I thought of when this was on my mind. That shit, that's fire. That's what we should be comfortable doing with people that we fuck with.
So why are we not comfortable?
Doubling down. That's a great question. That is a great question. What would you say? I'll throw it back on you. I'll get out of that question. Why are we not comfortable with doubling down and being like,
it's a weird it's a weird territory for men to be vulnerable with other men. You know what I'm saying? It's just a weird territory. I mean, when we're talking about friendship, homeboyism, I'm gonna make up a word here. I guess it's just a weird territory. Like, we're so prideful and like, I'm a man. Like we talked about on the support episode, was like, I don't have to reach out to him. Like you saying people don't have to reach out. Oh, Spike good, I ain't got to reach out. It's a weird thing I don't know why, but it's just weird for us to be vulnerable, which is the nucleus and the origin of this podcast. It's like, we don't reach to men, and then sometimes when we finally build up to get vulnerable with men, we say, okay, I want to let my homeboy know. I'm not gonna just say when he asks how you doing, I'm not gonna just say I'm good today. I'm gonna tell him what's up. And then necessarily the response is like, oh dang, that's crazy. Yeah, but nigga, you gonna be all right though. I mean, seriously.
I think that's the crazy thing about that, right?
That's a real reality that I'm gonna let you go, but like, that's a reality that a lot of men face. That don't even have to be black, but like, that's a reality a lot of men face, that like, you dealing with homeboys or friends, brothers or whatever, that when you finally get the courage to be vulnerable with them, tell them like, bro, I'm struggling right now with my kids. I'm struggling right now in my relationship, bro. I'm struggling right now with my mental health. I'm having dark thoughts right now. And I've been prideful up until this point to share this with anybody because I want to look like I'm a certain way. But now right now, I don't care how I look. I'm looking to bring this to somebody. So now that you're asking me, am I good? I'm telling you, bro, I'm not good. And these are the things that's going on. I go down the list and then you say, ah, man, damn, that's crazy, bro. But hey, man, nigga, you gonna be all right, bro. You gotta keep your head up and keep it basic like that. When I'm, even though your homeboy ain't necessarily, it's not on them to be your therapist at the moment, but and then they may not even be at the space. So I don't know. I think
Wait. You had a great point there, because I do want to address that. I'm not saying you can call your homeboy and trauma dump. I'm going through bad shit in life. Yeah. You my homeboy. You should be able to, I'm not saying that. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, to your point, understanding the relationships that you do have with the people who are friends with you and how they can help you. Like what you just said, yeah, that's deep. And a lot of brothers may not be equipped to deal with a friend calling them and telling them that. And us wanting to know everything, like sometimes we may not respond adequately and be like, bro, I don't know what to tell you.
That's true.
Like the same way it takes the confidence of a nigga to call and be like, hey man, these things are going on. It takes the same confidence for the nigga on the other side of the phone to be like, bro, I honestly, like, I feel for you, but I do not know what to tell you. Because we want to be there for them as a friend. And versus saying that, you would say some more cliche shit like you just said, oh, that's crazy. Sad you got to go through that. But part of the problem is we can't keep it that real with each other as brothers because we don't want to look vulnerable. Like, you should be able to call a brother that you feel like is equipped to deal with that. And even if he isn't, once you lay that on him, you understand, oh, okay, like it ain't a personal thing. He's just not equipped to deal with that. Like, all your friends don't serve the same purpose. And it's okay if you misunderstand the purpose that a nigga serves in your life. Pause.
Hold on. Say that. Say that again. Slow down.
It's okay.
That's a bar.
It's okay if you misunderstand the purpose that someone that you fuck with serves in your life. Mm. But you have to be vulnerable enough to present them with what you're dealing with for them to show it to you. What we're dealing with, like what we were talking about, is the assumption that I don't think that he can deal with it, so I'm not going to tell him. I don't think that my partner, my girl, can deal with this, so I'm not going to tell her. I don't think that at work they'll understand, so I ain't going to say nothing. I'm just going to thug it out. We as black men get that understanding, like nobody gets us. It's me against the world. I don't fuck with nobody, so I don't have to explain what I'm going through because no one is going to get it. No, nigga, try to explain it. And try to explain it to the best of your abilities, and then process how the person responds to it, how you're going to move forward. But don't make the assumption that, this nigga don't get me at all. I ain't even going to say nothing about it to them, because that might be the diamond in the rough. It may be something that you going through, Mo, that you could call me and you never thought that I would have had an answer for you, but you just like, well, this is my homeboy. I'm going to let him know what's going on. And boom, you get a gem. Like, shit, I never thought about it that way. However, it also may be a point where you like, well, let me ask him about this because he's smart, he's intelligent, I see he got things going on, and you get a dud back. You got to be open to both, but you got to be vulnerable enough to understand that the people in your life who care and are concerned about you, I can at least present them with the situations and let them X themselves out. But I don't want to be a person that's standing over here by myself, feeling like I got this me against the world attitude where I got to figure it out by myself. I at least want to be able to have people that I'm comfortable enough with, that I respect enough, that are accomplished enough to where I can be like, hey, let me present this to you. As someone who admires your thought process, as someone who fucks with you genuinely as a person, let me just present this to you and see what type of feedback that I get from it. If I ain't getting the feedback that I'm expecting, it's okay. I'm not offended. I'm not thinking that you didn't take 2 cents 2 times out to think about what I told you. It's okay. You can't deal with it. And I was wrong maybe for even bringing it to you, but I don't have to deal with the fact of thinking that, oh, that person can't deal with what I would lay on. I think we got to do a better job at understanding who we're dealing with and appreciating that a lot of brothers have our best interest at heart. As long as you can make a proper presentation, and at the end of the proper presentation, you can be like, okay, maybe they weren't equipped to deal with this like I thought they was. Thank you. I appreciate it, brother. And not being offended by it versus holding it in and keeping that shit to ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, you bodied that. I will say, and I'm gonna give a conclusive question that I want to ask as we wrap this episode. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I do think that the person that's on the other side, that you being the only child, you put a lot of I don't want to say responsibility, that's accountability. You put a lot of accountability on self, because that's all you've known.
It's the only person I can depend on.
Right. And nothing's wrong with that necessarily, but I do think that us that are the friends, not even our scenario, but like anybody that is the friend necessarily, like it shouldn't always have to come down to you saying, oh, they wasn't equipped. Sometimes the friend needs to be the person to say, hey, I don't know necessarily. Like, I know you said like they could be like, oh, bro, I don't even know what to say. But I do think they should take the time to, because what I've learned over the years of my life with people, even if I'm in unfamiliar waters, I'll go on the journey all the way to as far to the deep end of the water I can with them, until I just tell them like, I'm honestly, I hear what you're saying. I feel your pain. Not trying to solve their problem, not trying to be this holier than thou figure, not trying to, but let me go all the way there with you. Just hear your hurt. And then when we get to your destination of you spilled everything you're able to do, homeboy or whatever, it may be a moment like, bro, I don't know what to say, but I feel your pain. I hear what you're going through, you know? So in the same way you're saying, but what I want to say to wrap this question, this episode, is how do you break this habit? Being stubborn in the fact of, I ain't gonna do this because this is what I've known. I ain't gonna do this because this is how I was raised. I ain't gonna do this because my nigga said this is the. I ain't gonna do this because Jay-Z said. Or how do you break the pridefulness? You know, you've had your prideful story with Target. I've had my prideful story with, you know, asking for help from my father. You know, get past like I'm not gonna ask people because I want them to look at me this way. I'm not gonna ask because I want them to think this about me. I ain't gonna ask. I ain't gonna. How do you? What would you say? Being at your age, you got a birthday coming up here soon. How? What would you advise? And again, we're not the experts. We're just here to provide the conversation based on our life.
We
What
just
would you?
his brothers who are living through it.
Yes. What would you say to being stubborn? And I imagine your stubbornness is not the same as it was. Prideful, not as prideful as you used to be. What would you say to those that are still stuck in the era and the way of being that when you need, you have to get past that? What would you advise to them? What would that be?
Lean on the people who love you, because those are the people throughout your stubbornness, throughout you. Those people be like, oh, I know how such and such is. I know how he do, and when he get in these certain situations, he closed off. Lean on those people who understand your stubbornness, your pridefulness, and fight through it anyway. And I know that's asking a lot because it's not that. That's a very select group of people. Like it ain't a lot of people that are gonna continue to reach out to you after you've declined their calls and won't respond to them. It ain't a lot of people that are going to do that. Those people that do reach out, even though you haven't responded, even though they have no reason and no intermediate like benefit from, oh, we have a friendship or relationship. Those people that care regardless of that, lean on those people. Lean on them with the things that you deal with. Lean on them with your perspectives, because those are the people who are seeing through the mask of stubbornness and pridefulness that you put up to protect yourself.
Fire. Just to add to it, I would say, bro, I've taken so many L's being stubborn, so many L's being prideful. I realize this is not the wave. Like you want to get somewhere and you're trying to be stubborn. I'm a real nigga. I've been this way all my life. If you've been that way,
shit.
if you've been out that, bro,
don't need her.
Come on. If you've been that way all your life, you then that's a problem. If you've been the same way all your life, you're still a little boy.
Yeah.
If you've been the same, you're still a little girl. Hear me when I say that. I've been the same all my life, then you're still a baby.
You ain't grew up.
If you're not evolving, you're dying. So being stubborn, trying to hold on to how things work. No, don't get me wrong now. You got foundational things that you're going to hold on to that, but that's from a morality standpoint. But being stubborn or prideful creates this room for you to be closed-minded, and you can't be closed-minded when you're trying to progress. So I would say that you got to keep an open mind. Don't be so stubborn that you're not willing to hear anybody out. If you hear somebody out and you don't like it, you can go back to your bag, go back to your comfort. That's fine. But don't be so stubborn. I don't even want to hear it. That's not the place to be. That you'll never grow and you'll be stuck in the same place. You'll be looking at everybody else flourishing on the internet and you'll be stuck in the same place, being stubborn and prideful. So always keep an open ear. If you don't agree, that's fine. But don't be closed off to not even hear people.
Facts. That's a great close. And one more thing on top of that for the bookworms, you're dealing with people who are stubborn, who are prideful, and they do mean a lot to you. Don't be afraid to call it out. Watch the response that you get from those people, because no one usually challenges those people like that.
That's
Speaking
true.
from a person who has that type of personality, most people won't challenge me on, hey man, you're being stubborn, you're being prideful. You're not even listening or paying attention to what I'm saying or how I'm trying to help you, because you're being stubborn and you're being prideful. You're dealing with that as a person that listens to this show with someone else who's important to you in your life. Call them out on it directly. Tell them, hey man, you're being stubborn. You're being prideful, bro. And I ain't even trying to do anything but help you, because I got your best interest at heart. Try that approach. Watch how the conversation changes. I promise you. Watch how the conversation changes when you do that, when you call them out on it. Because a lot of the times, again, speaking as a person with a stubborn, prideful personality, a lot of the times you just get in autopilot mode and you're dealing with people all the same way. But when someone close to you calls you out on it, you're like, shit, you're right.
Yeah, they caught it.
Yeah. Now watch how much of an impact you can play into their thought process and what they're doing once you call them out.
Those are big facts. What you got going on, Spike, before we get out of here, man?
All the same olds, man.
Same olds.
Another week in the books. Yeah, same old. Another week in the books. Good earners. DeadEnd Sports. Low Key podcast just wrapped up. Gonna be doing something different with frames per second. Dirt podcast is launching pretty soon. Y'all guys be watching for that.
I can't wait.
I'm executive producing for Is the Mic Still On Now? So I'm coming up with topics for them and helping them out over there. Y'all check that out if y'all haven't ever heard of Is the Mic Still On podcast. Check that out on Sundays. Excuse me, it comes out on Wednesdays from DeadEnd Media. It's a really cool podcast about just current events and topics and things of that nature. But it's steady working, as you know. What about you?
Same thing. Good earners every Monday. We are working out some things as far as what we're going to do in between this. We're wrapping up season 3, getting prepared for season 4. But life is happening. Life is lifing. So we'll get to that. But y'all go over to that feed, subscribe right now. As Spike said, man, again, as I just want to emphasize, we are doing a Thanksgiving episode. We need y'all to come through. All of our bookworms. Y'all love us. Y'all appreciate us. If we have blessed your life in 68 episodes, please.
68. How many episodes, Mo?
68. 68. That's a lot of conversations. Please, we're asking y'all. Please come through. Leave us a voice note on Instagram. Another week in the books. No spaces. We're going to put it on the air. We're going to talk about it. We need that. It's a lot for us. It's a lot for Spike to be this vulnerable. It's a lot for me to be this vulnerable and all of our guests to come on. So please, that is the emphasis of this episode.
Absolutely.
Go to another week in the
tap
books.
in next week. Thanksgiving episode. We want the bookworms to be involved. If you want to get at me for the Zoom link, I am Spike Lou on Instagram.com. Send me the DM. Holler at me. I'll send you the Zoom link so you can tap in, get 5 minutes on what another week in the books meant to you over the last year or however since we started it. But please rate, subscribe, like, let us know what you think about the show. Be prepared to be a participant in next week's episode.
Yes, sir.
Good episode, brother.
Bruh.